Well, listen, now I got to ask you this question because we at Mission always looking to improve. We're not as reliant on technology, but we're currently reviewing Jim Collins' Good to Great book. And in it, he talks about technology is not actually a differentiator that you think it is. And he says it's actually the last thing, and kind of goes back to what you were talking about, Jenny, like what is the core business? How does it satisfy customers? I'd love to hear your opinion on this. And I'll use this example right now. When Netflix first offered streaming, of course, it rose to the top of the streaming ranks. It has since fallen quite a bit because that streaming technology is now available seemingly to everybody. And what I was reading this article about, like Netflix's biggest problem is they don't have the content library that the others have. It used to be they were the only platform that was delivering streaming, so they could rely on other libraries and maybe some okay shows, but not super popular shows. But companies like Disney, companies like HBO Max, or Disney has now surpassed Netflix in total subs, but they have ESPN catalog, Hulu catalog. They have their own obvious animated catalog, Pixar catalog, Marvel catalog. And they said technology is flattened. It's not a differentiator in stream anymore. And therefore now it goes back to what the customers really want, is they wanted the content. And so that's just one example of technology not being a differentiator, even though it thought it was. I'm curious, do you see that? Like, is this speed that's happening going to continuously flatten that technology curve? Because it is available to everybody. You just got to choose to invest in it. It's going to flatten the curve and bring it back to like the company's core services and products. Like that's going to have to be the differentiator again. So it's like ebbs and flows, right? You have to invest in the technology just to be on par. But once you're on par, it goes back to your services. I'd love to hear like your opinions on this. Like, how do you encourage the investment? Because like I could see someone saying like, well, if it's going to be the same, how do I move faster? How do you guys think about technology's role in like winning these advantages? I'll start with Patty. That was a complicated question. I tend to ramble in the questions.
A little, I would say like the technology of streaming, it might be the same, right? It's not like you have to buy more technology to change the way you stream. But going back to my earlier comment when we said, what is the kind of number one business priority for CEOs out there? We ran a survey, 56% of them said growth. How do you focus on growth with that efficiency and sustainability? You may be the number one streaming right now. Once you fall, what happens? You got to think about ad sales, right? We're not only working with Netflix, but even others out there, streaming services, to start thinking about how do we go about ad sales, because that's actually a missed opportunity from revenue, right? What are other lines of revenue that you can start opening for your business to continue that growth that you have? And then also from a productivity front, 91% of organizations out there say they need a solution to automate processes so they can do more with less. Where can we cut costs? I hate to say this, but when you think about call centers, many of them are saying, how do we cut the people aspect? How do we go from 1,500 down to 500? The only way to do that is how do you think about automation? And it's not just automation, this term out there now, hyper automation, right? It's not a product, it's not a thing. If you think about hyper automation for an organization, it's thinking through all the different processes and people processes and organization processes. How do you hyper automate the entire thing to find the best outcome you can get to save on cost, gain as much revenue as you can? I hope that answered your question.
I don't know if my question has an answer, but I'd love to hear your opinions.
I would say, I think our perspective is there is no such thing as value creation without it being digital value creation. I think that's just the way of the world. And I think what your story is, the one you just told there about Netflix, is fascinating, because what I hear in that story also, when I anchor on, is just the pace at which the world changes, right? Like your position of strength you have today, you could feel good about that, but it will change. The pace at which companies lose value, the number of listed companies that remain, it's dwindling, right? There's a reason companies lose value. I think digital is like a muscle and a mindset. It will help you stay agile and nimble and resilient. Like that's what it will do. It will help you play defense in the worst of times against your competitors, and it will help you be nimble to innovate for the future. I think we as a firm view digital, and it's like value creation. There is no such thing without it being digital value creation in this world. I think that's just a reality, and it speaks to the pace at which things change, including the pace at which your competitive landscape can shift on you in your business very fast. And so are you in the reinvention business as a C-suite and a board of thinking about your competitive positioning? What does that look like for your industry? Where do you cross-pollinate and learn from other industries? Like, that's a mindset, to be this kind of insurgent in your world, to be able to be resilient over time. And I think that's a muscle and that's a mindset more than it is anything else, more than it is like picking the right technology. It's just like it engenders this mindset of a pace of change and innovation that I think, every management team and every board ought to be worried about whether or not they have that kind of thinking and talent.
Well said. Listen, the fast is going to eat the slow. I mean, that is exactly, this is where we're going full circle right there. I didn't think of it framed that way, but that is very well framed in that both of you, right? It's the reality is like, no matter what advantages you have, the real reality is that your market is going to change. Your competition's going to change. Those who move fast are going to be able to change faster. So you're not customer centric and you can't move fast. You're probably going to lose something. You're going to lose something. Like it's very hard to stay at the top, really. This is what I'm keep hearing, which is also exciting for a lot of startups because, hey, no one's indefensible, right? Every market can be challenged. In order to move forward, also, there's a lot of, investment, technological investment, development inside, in-house. I was hoping you guys could share a little bit about this acquisition of a company called Netrovert. And I don't want to spoil it for everyone and speak for you. Jenny, there's a new acquisition, Netrovert. Give us an idea of what's going on in that space.
Yeah, we're very excited about it. We did close an acquisition of a company called Netrovert. They are a company that primarily specialize, they're quite excellent in MuleSoft. And we targeted them for that reason. So MuleSoft is a leader in what it does, and that's stitching together kind of orchestrator layer.
Connecting the unconnectable. I love saying
Connecting the unconnectable. So we've enjoyed a partnership with MuleSoft over time, and Netrovert directly, we had them as a business partner of ours for about the past 3 years, so we got to know them, we worked with them together. But the bottom line is, in order to fulfill our mission to help our clients do all the things, Albert, we just spent some time talking about, we needed to bolster our capabilities so we could stay nimble and we could stay relevant. This MuleSoft capability is one of those that we felt was essential for our ability to deliver our promise to our customers, our clients. We knew Netrovert, culturally very aligned, managed to bring them in-house here. So we couldn't be more excited. And I think the promise of what we can do together is all that much greater because we have this capability. I think, Patty, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I think it further strengthens our signal and position to the partnership with you all. And I think what we can also collectively do in the market.
Yeah, and I mean, we keep talking about the fast eating the slow. Netrovert's actually a perfect story around that. They're a services company. They actually used to deliver only for a competitor of MuleSoft. As they continued to see where the market was going, they made the decision, let's start cross-training our people because we can't lose our customers. They're all going to MuleSoft, right? Let's start kind of building that bench of folks and those, trained and certified resources to go deliver these projects. And then they became 100% MuleSoft. They started actually delivering on behalf of our professional services team as well. So they're a tried and true, trusted delivery partner for us. And we are absolutely excited with the acquisition by PwC of this partnership because it just strengthens both PwC and Netrovert, and we're super excited to continue delivering, not only delivering strategy, but executing for our clients as well.
We had Jay Atkinson from PwC on the show a while back, and he was talking about upskilling, and he was talking about how many people need to be upskilled, not just at PwC, but anywhere, everywhere around the world, PwC included. And this is one of those things that kind of plays into that, right? Because it's like you're going to also want other people to know to do this. Give us an idea, Jenny. And, Patty, I'd love to hear from you too. Like, what does acquiring this type of knowledge do for your ability to upskill your own people? Because I feel like this is exactly why you want to do something like this. It's like, hey, I need the experts to teach more people on my side as well.
I mean, for us, for sure, that's a very direct step of what we hope happens is that, we have a broader pool of folks now that can help upskill and train another generation of it. The other thing I think it does is it continues to fulfill our mission to try to, be the kind of digital consultant to our clients that we aspire to be, which is one that is constantly looking at what needs to be connected, not just in one silo and one thing we do, but the radiation effect of what you could be doing over here in one part of an organization has a connection to another place. We have the capabilities to put all that together. And so I think it reinforces what is our brand when we come in as a digital consultant to our clients, which is we're here to help connect you to your strategy, bring it to life. Doing that requires doing all this stuff digitally. P.S. we can help you connect those dots. So that's the other part of that upskilling is just that continued connection to a higher purpose of a message and a strategy for a company and what they're trying to accomplish.
IT Visionaries is powered by Salesforce Platform and Dreamforce. Did you know all of the very best Dreamforce sessions are available free on salesforce.com/plus? We recommend watching the Platform and MuleSoft keynote to get the down low on doing more with less and increasing efficiencies with automation.